that we now need. You know what I'm saying? Because what they've done, white people have you know. And remember, when I say white people, I don't mean your next door neighbor and your work colleague. I'm talking about the people that their government murdered off the Indians, yeah, destroyed and murdered and batty fucked some youths in you know, because as much as people say homosexuality is this, when you sodomize a person by force, that's what we call sodomy. It means a brutality. It doesn't mean oh, I'm in love with you. It means I've just brutalized you in a way to demean you. Right, so you know, and on another side of that, they can call that love, but I'm not talking about that. Right, sodomizing kids, sodomizing women, chopping off people's heads, and all that, and made you so afraid of them. You know what I mean? Because their violence knows no bounds. That you now, in order to be, you want to be like them. You know what I'm saying? The Americans, I don't know if I've just wavered slightly, but the Americans are the worst types of British and European rule that you will find. So can you see why they're amalgamating with Britain? Because Britain is the next sort of English-speaking power base. Because remember, it's the British that went over there. Remember, America had a war with the British trying to take over, and the British never let up. They've always been trying to take over. So they're both amalgamating. So you're going to end up with an American-like Britain, and they don't care what the British people think. Because they run things. You don't. You pay your tax and they do what they want to do with it. They don't care about you. Because there is no revolution. We can't do nothing. There's nothing you and I can do. Nothing black people can do, because the people them who claim that they're down for us have to do something for us. There's nothing we're going to be able to do. So this idea that we're going to start this and start new school. Look from when Saturday school are gone. Look from when Black History School are gone. It hasn't changed anything. Nothing. When I say change anything, it might change some individual's life, but in terms of its effect on the whole, I don't recognize it. I can tell you, I can recognize the poll tax effects on everybody. I can recognize that. I can recognize that, you know, the schools, what they do when they take 8% out of the school system. I can recognize when they increase the school numbers from 20 to 32 per class. I can recognize all these things. Yet I can't recognize all these things that black people have been doing for half a century, claiming they're delivering up the black community. You understand what I'm saying? Nothing in that's elevated itself and planted itself in a system that's oppressed them for over 500 years, murdered and tortured, brutalized and raped them, and robbed them of their own resources. I haven't seen anything that affects that group of people. You understand what I'm trying to say? So what is it that people are saying they understand, and this is the reason why? You need to stop an eyes, you know. You know what I mean? If you don't know where to talk about, shut up.
Opinion, innit? Everybody's got opinion.
Exactly.
It's like having an arsehole, everybody's got one in it.
And some of the arseholes them need wiping too, because they're smelly and they're dirty. They don't wipe them arseholes properly. And now, listen.
Don't go there, please.
Don't let me use that metaphor to its extreme.
Oh, God.
You know what I'm saying?
But yeah, most definitely. But let me leave it there. I'll call you back later.
Okay, thank you.
If there's anything else going on, I'll
okay, if you pick up anything, just let me. If you pick up anything, what I'm saying, by all means, call back. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't know what it is. You know, like I'm hosting a talk show, but the object of it is really just to let people say what they need to say, so I can say what I need to say and say why. Because remember, you got a whole bunch of people that claiming they're African centered, and they just live in their only tiny little community, beating some drums and having lots of fun. Their children amount to nothing. You know what I'm saying, in terms of what they do for they haven't got that kind of vitriol and that kind of stand uppishness against. They're not clever enough for these people. You know what I'm saying? They're too smart.
They're messing around with the ego.
Yeah.
Everybody's got the ego complex.
Yeah,
That's why we got the so-called black leaders in our communities, like the Farrakhan's and what's his name, Umar Johnson, whoever it is, Al Sharpton in America. All of these people, it's the ego. Because my thing is, if these people are really down for us, we'll be more progressive.
Absolutely.
Now than we were before.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? But how come they're so rich, they're living a wonderful life, they're always in the media and everything like that, but yet your own people are still living in ghettos, drugs, alcohol, prostitution, kids are all over the place, gangs, all of this stuff. This is crazy. And people don't understand it.
Absolutely.
And even with churches as well. We've got over 200 and something churches in Peckham alone. Yeah.
Look at that.
And black people in Peckham have been broke for how long? But yet, all these pastors are up in Peckham that rent out these spaces. You see them coming out the churches with their big, massive Armani, Versace suits, with their alligator shoes, big, massive watches. And these people, the same poor people that look at these pastors and something high or whatever, they're giving them their one last red cent, and they don't think to themselves, hold on, but look at Pastor, he's dressing like this, and he's got his latest Bentley right in front of my face. But yeah, he's a so-called man of God. Wow. Okay. This is why this is why I try to kind of associate myself around, not to sound funny, people want to take it like that, but I don't really give a shit. But anyway, I associate myself with like-minded people.
Absolutely.
Because if I don't, I'm going to go insane.
Exactly. I get you. I'm with you on that one, for real, though. You get what I'm saying? Because they have no, the what's going on is, it's such an infiltration of that negative white energy. You know what I'm saying? That it's very difficult to sort of cleanse yourself from it. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not, because there's a lot of these the African-centered people and all these sort of socialistic people, they're too egotistical. They cannot have a decent argument because they cannot manage argument. They cannot control their temper, and they cannot control their rise in their blood pressure when they're talking about certain things. So they're out of control. If you're out of control, how the hell can you drive a car to a destination out of control? You know what I'm saying? When you come to a stoplight, you can't brake properly. When you come to turn the corner, you're skidding. All I'm saying is that what I'm saying is some bullshit, and what I'm saying is I don't know what the hell I'm talking about, then let me hear what you got to say. Let me hear what you've got to say in your... But they can't. As soon as they start talking, let me talk. What? Listen, I'm in hundreds of arguments, and it's the same every time. They just lose it. They cannot control themselves. The same thing when they're sperming inside a girl. They cannot withdraw. You know what I'm saying? They lost control of their entire, you know what I'm saying? Everything that they're doing is out of control. They're out of control in spending, so their finances is all messed up. They're out of control in smoking weed, so they're smoking all different variants of weed and all different types of stuff that's mad in them. They're out of control in drinking. They're out of control in every aspect. They're out of control in going to church. They're out of control in everything. So how is it you're thinking with all of this going on, somehow someone's got the solution? You know what I'm saying? And I can go on and tell you about the amount of things that are affecting us as a community. You know what I'm saying? And what it is that nobody's doing, but they're just looking at some other thing, like money. Like if you get money, obviously if you get money, it's not making it no better. How many leaders have you ever, for all the ghettos that we live in, I proclaim to be the ghetto-ologist. You know what I'm saying? How many of them have you ever heard say, we need to close down the ghettos? They live in ghettos. They pump up ghettos because it's a form of hustle. It's a form of income for these people.
Where they get their money from.
That's where they get their money from. If there's no ghettos, that means that people have risen educationally. People have risen psychologically and mentally. So the ghettos can't exist. So that means that these people can't exist. They become null and void. Nobody needs you to pretend that you're saving people when you're actually doing nothing really but feeding your pockets and your own immediate family. You understand what I'm saying? So what is it? So how comes nobody's talking about shutting down ghettos? Everybody was like, I just made some money. It's like they Usain Bolt out the ghetto. Like, Ross, I'm lifting that, bro. You look can state it. You understand what I'm saying? Nobody's saying like, you know what? I've left the ghetto. I've got 10 million. I'm gonna buy a school. I'm gonna help build that road. I'm gonna do this. No, nobody. And if they do that, you know what I'm saying? Somebody's there ready to like. That some agent's going to be there to steal the money. You know what I'm saying? Planted specifically in that group to steal the money. You don't understand how these people work. If you said, right, my name's Nika, I want to start that library over there, and I can run that library for 10 years straight by paying 7 people at this rate per year for 10 years. You know what I'm saying? After that, you know what I'm saying? And see if we could raise money along the way or whatever. You understand what I'm saying? You'll find that they'll hire somebody of disreputable past, with a disreputable past, you know what I'm saying? Put them in the organization, and when they steal the money, they go, oh, how did that happen then? So, so your project fails, and you go, well, how did your project fail? Yeah, because somebody stole the money. No, somebody they put in there to steal the money stole the money. That's like when they gave the money to the people of Brixton. They gave it to a bunch of thieves and hustlers. Because they knew, if you're a clever person, why would you give your money to thieves and hustlers? How are you so dumb? You know what I'm saying? Not to give me, not saying me, but not to give a thief it, but you gave it to a bunch of guys who were hustling and thieving on the road and say, here's some money for you lot to look after. And then you created little loopholes in the system so they can use. So they stole the money, bought cars, and they never built the project on that now space, there's some houses, bro. You know what I'm saying? Sorry. You know what I'm saying? There's some houses there now. So this is what they do. They have specific plans. That's why you never see somebody of my like kind on the television. You know what I'm saying? You see me for 1 second and they go, Ross Clark, this boy I got with him big talking for trying to affect people saying him can talk. You know what I'm saying? You know what? We're still one side. Let me bring up the other guy we can control and we can sound like he's one of we. That's what they do. They're gonna have no controversial figures because they don't want anybody to feel that there's another way about this thing. They control everything. See what I'm saying? So how are you gonna beat somebody if you have no idea what you're fighting? You think that you're gonna have another guy call himself a leader or that, and all you're doing is going to praise him like a god every weekend, and yet he cannot change anybody's lifestyle. You know what I mean? All you want to do is keep having these fundraisers so that you can make a little profit. You're hustling your community. You know what I'm saying? They're hustling their community so that they can live. They don't care about the ghettos. Ghettos should be 50 years later. Ghettos should be almost obsolete.
Yeah.